Hi, this is Stephen Shanklin. I'm a reporter with CNET News, and this is a first hands-on look at the Samsung Galaxy Tab. This is the Android tablet that Samsung unveiled here at the IFA Electronics Show in Berlin. It's a nice tablet, obviously, but it's also a telephone. You can only buy this through your phone service company, the people you get your mobile phone plan from, but you can actually make calls with it.
This is the home screen of the Samsung Galaxy Tab. As you can see, it's got a pretty nice display. It's an LCD display. Samsung took a little flack for not going for AMOLED, but they cited cost and power consumption concerns. Maybe we'll see one of those in future years. Samsung has a lot of display experience. So this is with one of the live backgrounds. They're really rich on this relatively large screen for an Android device. As you can see, you can slide around, see different screens. There are 5 home screens available. Here's the gadget for Facebook. If you want to add a new gadget, you can simply hold down on the screen. It will provide you with some options. We'll put a new widget, say the daily briefing perhaps, and it loads up pretty fast, so that's very convenient. As with all Android devices so far, you have the home screen, but of course you can also get more options if you click the applications button. This shows you all the applications that are installed. One that I thought showed off the tab screen fairly nicely was Google Earth. We'll load that up. It takes a minute for it to load. It's a nice little geographic exploration application here. I'll put it in landscape mode. It's got a nice ability to take advantage of the multi-touch user interface here. For example, you can change the view. You can zoom in with pinch. You can rotate with by turning 2 fingers. Zoom in a little bit more. It takes a while for the imagery to upload, but it's very nice, and you can flick to zoom around. So it's a fairly impressive application on a screen this size with the multi-touch interface. When it comes to productivity apps, these tablets are an interesting new option because they, of course, can show a lot more screen real estate for reading email or checking calendars. One thing I liked about this tablet is the calendar actually seemed to take a lot more advantage of the screen real estate, so there's some views of that. However, I have to say that the email application left me a little cold. This is the built-in email app that can talk to Exchange servers, and I think it could use the screen real estate a little bit better. One nice thing about it, if you have it in landscape mode, then you can see your email on the left, your inbox on the left, and your contents on the right. But even when it's vertical, I prefer to be able to see a bit more. This also applies to the Google Mail application, which I find has text that can be a lot smaller. It's nice to have an option for large text, but it would be very handy to have to be able to read more as you go. One of the popular applications here at the IFA show that everybody's trying out is NFS Shift. This is a car racing application from EA, as you can see. It takes a little while for it to load. It's one of these drive around games, and it's a work in progress, so some of the glitches are unfortunate but not that surprising. We'll start a new race. This doesn't use the most advanced graphics when it comes to actually rendering while you're driving, but it's fairly respectable. It seems pretty clear that we're going to have a lot more Android games hitting the market once we have some nice displays like this to show it off. Clearly, I'm not a born car racing aficionado here. Turbo boost. And a crash. Video is a nice aspect of the Samsung Galaxy Tab. When we launch the video application here, you get a number of options. This works better in landscape mode, obviously. Let's watch one of these videos here. I've found generally the video to be fairly high quality. Sometimes it lags, but mostly even during fast transitions, it tends to play very smoothly. Of course, the video option on the tab here that's interesting is you can connect it to your TV via HDMI, which is something of a novelty. There's also YouTube video. Let's go back to the home screen. You can watch any number of online videos if you like. Just load one up here to see what it looks like. Loads pretty fast over Wi-Fi. And a fairly impressive high-quality display for streaming video on a small tablet device. One of the areas that Samsung likes to highlight is the reader application. You can check out news if you like. There are a number of pages. The Tagesspiel here in Germany. Some tips poke up. You can zoom in. It's the real newspaper. It takes a minute for it to render a nicer version. If we go back here, take a look at a book. The book reader seems reasonable. Sometimes it seems to lag for me, but that might just be a matter of downloading. We'll take a look at Michael Lewis, The Big Short, just to see how it works here. So you flick to the right. There's no animation, so you have to kind of understand that you're changing pages. You can change a number of settings, night versus day mode, very handy. You can change fonts from serif to sans serif if you prefer. And you can of course change the font size if you want it to be larger or smaller. The tab comes with the swipe interface for the keyboard if you like that. And I'll show you how that works. Basically, you just slide your fingers over the words. So you can type NOW, for example, it does a good job. TIME does time. And if you do a little loop, it'll do two letters like ALL or GOOD. So swipe is fairly useful. I actually found I could touch type faster with this nice large screen real estate here. It's not so constrained as a mobile phone. So, swipe, it's kind of a matter of personal preference. But it's definitely not as necessary on a device this size as it is on a mobile phone. The built-in browser works pretty well. As you can see, you can click on links and they'll load reasonably fast, at least on this Wi-Fi connection. This shows the responsiveness of the scrolling. It's pretty good here. If you follow links, depending on the complexity of the page, it can take them a while to load, but it's generally much better than with a mobile phone. As with Android phones, if you double tap, it will zoom in on a particular aspect of the screen. It's also available, multi-touch is also available, so you can use multiple fingers to change the size and single finger to pan around. Of course, Android systems tend to have a back button, so you can go back to where you used to be. Tab comes with the Music Hub application that's powered by 7 Digital, you can see here, and with it you can click on various tracks and see how they sound. You can see here we get a 1-minute clip. A lot of songs I've tried were just 30 seconds, but it's a nice way to preview, and of course then you can buy the songs if you have an account. This one costs 99 pence in the UK. Here's a look at the Android market on the Galaxy Tab. Loads a lot faster than the Android market on most mobile phones I've used. You can then go look in and see what the apps are. It moves relatively fast if you're scrolling through this. Of course, it has to download the thumbnails as it goes, so that there's always a little bit of lag there. You can check out the different categories. And the games are a relative weakness of Android compared to the iOS ecosystem that Apple has helped build, but things are definitely improving now. One nice feature of the Galaxy Tab we haven't seen on most Android devices is some extra use of the status bar. Up here you'll notice in the status bar you have different options for turning hardware off or on or changing configuration. You can put it in silent mode, take it out of silent mode. You can lock the orientation so it won't flip, obviously. If you rotate it, you can turn the Bluetooth off and on. There's no Bluetooth devices here. This is particularly handy if you are working with GPS, which uses a lot of battery power. You can turn it on and then turn it off when you don't want it anymore.